push from the lungs into the heart. You push that rhythm from the lungs into the heart, and you activate every cell in your body with this ritmo-infused blood.
We all know that hooping has helped put us in front of people dancing. It's helped get us over the awkwardness of carrying a hoop through an airport. Those are life lessons that we can take to the world outside of the hoop. Open air is really more about allowing that door between our hoop life and our non-hoop life to swing back and forth and maybe even just disappear completely. After all my years of traveling and teaching, that the biggest obstacle to learning, progressing, development, and even staying with the hoop has been insecurity. That people have challenges that come up from their insecurities that are then brought into their hoop practice, which stymie one of those parts.
Right now, I want you to look at things with fresh eyes, to think about your hoop as just movement again.
Movement meditation is really, really good for helping the body and the mind kind of dissolve into rhythm. And what is left is the ego. It's so hard it can't dissolve. And when we can see the ego there, when we can see the practice there, we can understand it better. So when we talk about these things, it's related to open air and like what the actual experience would be about. The exercises are really not just about me giving you a piece of information, A, and transmitting it to you, B, but about the exchange of not just information, but of also just of energy and just of a willingness to grow, both me and you.
Keep them free, keep them moving. Strong but flexible.
So open air is a tour that's about the meditative qualities of hooping and pushing those out into our practice so that we can just be. The little things that we do that we don't even realize, like the polite social lie, that becomes this kind of trap and is the seed of this demon that then can come into our practice as well. It's like every time I misrepresent myself to you, I'm putting our relationship in a cage. You know, right? Like every time that I tell you something like, you know, that I make up some excuse about why I don't want to hang out with you, even something small like that. Anytime that I misrepresent myself to you, I put our relationship and everything that it can become in a limited space. Right? And unfortunately, that cage that I build is built also between us. Right? So that like every time that we interact, I'm seeing the bars of my lies, you know, in front of you. That's a part of your image with me. And I don't want to be in that cage. You know, nobody wants to be in that cage. And when we're in there, in that cage, all of the things, all those little tweaks to like our mental well-being happen, right? Like first we resent the cage, we feel trapped in the cage, we want to grow small, which is impossible in the cage. And then unfortunately sometimes, you know, after a while, you know, we even begin to appreciate the cage. We appreciate this like construction of lies that we've told to ourselves because we think it protects us from not being accepted by people. You know, but then we can't understand why nobody will come into our cage, why nobody will make like real contact with us, or why can't we really connect with our hoop practice? Well, we can't connect to it because there's these bars in between us. You know, and when you're out in the world of open air with somebody, it's very vulnerable. You know, you share your truth with somebody and you're basically like waiting to see what happens, see what comes back. But what comes back, whether it's good or bad, that is truth also. You know, that's the way that it works. It's like I share my truth with you, and if you don't like it, then we've just discovered a new form of truth. right? And if you believe like I do that truth is is the ultimate goal, of social interaction, then I'd rather say peace to you. Be on your way, it's good. We can agree to disagree and be in truth, then look at you through caged bars. I hate that. That holds me back, and I look at the hoop community and I get all of these letters about being intimidated at hoop jams or feeling like they're not as good as everybody else 11 months in, wanting to know like what advice would I have to sort of keep their hoop space clean. And I don't really have advice except to say, just like, look at your own shoes. All that mud that's in your hoop space was brought in by your boots. You're the one that feels intimidated. You're the one that feels competitive. Krishnamurti is right. We are society. The way that we think, the way that you view yourself, it comes into, and the way that you view society, it all comes into your perspective. You're feeling competition because it's inside of you. And you're trying to push it out, make it external again, but it grows in here. And the only way that you're going to deal with your competition is to look at it, to speak to it like it's this crying baby that's been crying for years, and to finally attend to it, right? And I promise you that the only way you're going to get it to quiet down is if you hold it and love it. It's the only way. Open air space is about like us taking hoop back to a meditation where we can just dissolve, all of our movement can dissolve into all this other movement and rhythm in the world. And what will be left is that rock hard ego that we have. It'll be the only thing that sits on top of the drain. And then we can look at it. And then we can appreciate it, but also see the traps that it creates for us. That those plateaus, those walls, that's all just insecurity, prison bars getting in the way of your perspective. That if you don't build those bars, if you don't construct that cage, and you're out here with the rest of us just being in truth, then you can experience openness.